What cheer, y'all? Continue on with our Kentucky Derby contender profiles. We've got Rodriguez, who the Wood Memorial winner, who really just ran a fantastic race. Finally got out of California to his benefit, and he did not disappoint. This one's one of Bob Baffert's many this year, but this one actually seems to be living up to the expectations, whereas quite a few have not. So he's certainly one that we got to pay a lot of attention to because he's going to be key to how the pace scenario shakes out in the Derby. Taking a look at his pedigree, he's by Authentic. We know he won the Derby, and by Into Mischief, and certainly doesn't lack for talent there. Here's the concern: his dam is Kayala, who is by Cherokee Run. Cherokee Run was a really nice horse, but he was a sprinter, and he doesn't get horses who go two turns. Most notably, you go back a few years, there was a horse named Warpass. I believe it was in 2009. He won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and I threw him out before the Breeders' Cup Juvenile for the Derby. I said, there's no way this horse can win. They put him in the Wood Memorial to test him out around two turns, and he got destroyed by, I believe it was Escandarea. I can't remember. But, yeah, it was. And so, and he just doesn't get two-turn horses. They just doesn't. Kayala has been a nice dam. She's got 4 black-type winners. One of them is One Liner, who won the Southwest Stakes. But you go back, I went 3 deep in the female line to see if I could find some more stamina. And Chase the Gold really didn't find any. Let me back up. And of those black type winners, there's One Liner, but there's also Roderick, who was a sprinter, and really more sprinter miler types. And it had to go all the way back to Chase the Wild Wind, the 3rd dam, to find Albertus Maximus, who was a 2-turn stakes winner. But it's a little light on stamina. Now, you look at the Conduit Mare profile, and it speaks to the contrary. You've got quite a bit of solid and professional influence, 12 solid, 2 professional, which is excellent. And you see that it skews quite a bit to stamina, 14 to 9 for speed. And the triads as well. So I suppose it's not impossible. And, certainly the Wood Memorial would give you the idea that he can get 1.25 miles if you base it just on that race. But, it's a little lingering there that I'm just not sure this is a horse who's ideally set for 1.25 miles. He takes a lot of strides, and that's another thing. That was what I didn't like about Cornucopia, and I think Rodriguez, it's very similar to that. This is a really nice horse, and he's talented enough that I think he could shake free and take him all the way in the Derby. He'd need a little help to do it. It's certainly possible. But I do have some reservations about it, particularly when you consider all the, you've got East Avenue and you've got Citizen Bull, who absolutely have to have the lead. It'll be a challenge, but he's got a lot of talent, and that Wood Memorial can't be denied. So you look at the running lines, and there's a couple. One of the things that I'm a little concerned about right off the bat is you look at those early pace numbers. And he ran. I mean, the Wood Memorial was answered a lot of questions because he finally got to the lead. We know Baffert didn't let him get to the lead in the San Felipe or the Bob Lewis. The Bob Lewis was the race that really turned me on to this horse because I just thought that was an outstanding effort. He did everything in his power to get back in the race. They took him back all the way to the back. He re-rallied, and he still got up for second. I just thought it was a marvelous demonstration of talent. And the San Felipe, once again, they did everything they could not to put him on the lead. And he obviously got frustrated by it, but I'm not going to blame the horse for that. I blame the scenario he was faced with. So what happens? They get to the Wood Memorial. They finally let him loose, do exactly what he wants to, and he runs a monster. 148 is an outstanding time for a mile and an eighth. His fractions were excellent. Can he do that at a mile and a quarter? Not sure about that. You also note that he's got a 105 Brisnet figure, and the previous high was a 97 back in his maiden. And so sometimes that would indicate a regression is possible. So that's a concern. It's Bob Baffert. Mike Smith is the right jockey for this horse. He's a good, patient rider, knows how to get him on the lead and keep him there. So, excuse me. There are definitely some positives, but, and just to reaffirm, look at that Dam Sire average winning distance there at 6.8. That's the other thing that's kind of a concern. So, can he do it again at a mile and a quarter? I'm not so sure. But he is a horse that's got plenty of talent. So what are the first take? What are the positives? He's got talent. He's just got talent you can't deny. I mean, he got 100 buyer in his maiden. That Wood Memorial was just a phenomenal effort. It reminded me to a degree of Escandarea back in 2009, who ran that kind of race. It was just a monster and everybody's Derby favorite, and then he had to scratch. He also ran well outside of California, which I think is important because he validated his form because he faced East Coast runners. Not great ones, I grant you, but he did it outside of California, and I think that's significant. What are the negatives? Well, he was sent to New York because Bob Baffert thought the crowd wouldn't be as big and he wouldn't get as keyed up. I haven't heard the reports about how he did at the Wood, but obviously he ran great, so I'll assume Baffert was right to move him there. But what's going to happen when he gets to the Derby with 150,000 people at Churchill Downs in a 20-horse field? You got to wonder about that. The distance, as we mentioned, I'm not sure a mile and a quarter is what he wants. His running style, you're going to have a lot of horses jockeying for the lead. Can he eclipse all of them and get it? Yes, I think he can. But will it take so much out of him that he can't finish? And you couple that with being kind of high-strung, it's a worry. And then finally, we touched on it. It's possible he could have a regression after a big effort like that. So, in sum, is he a horse that, boy, I mean, it's tough in a lot of regards because he could take this field all the way. He could do it. Can he? I mean, can he outrun journalism? He needs some help. We'll see what the post draw is like, but he's a very intriguing horse for sure. And I did hear Bob Baffert say earlier that he was a little, thought the horse wasn't quite there yet, still maturing, still physically needed to get there, and but he's in the Derby, and so there must be something. I don't think you can deny the talent. I think that's what it comes down to. So he's one of them. I got mixed signals with Rodriguez. I like the horse. I just don't know if this is the type of scenario where his best will come to fore. Just don't know. We'll have to see. So I hope this helps you with your own assessment, of course. And we'll have more content coming, more Derby contender profiles. We've got a couple out there already, so I encourage you to take a look at them. This is all a prelude to the elements of handicapping. As I've said, form, class, speed, and pace. We'll put it all together and look at all of them as a whole and see what we see. So that will come probably in a week or so. We'll start into that. And we're going to try to do it for the Oaks as well, time permitting. And so plenty more content to take a look at. If you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. Again, thanks so much to all of you newcomers. Everybody continues to grow the community. Keep those comments coming. I'm a broken record there, but I love it. So please keep it up. It's good for all of us. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.